Hey toy fans, D21 Beast Rob here. I had an amazing toy hunt today. I've got my hands on the X-Men Cyclops Dark Phoenix 2-pack exclusive to Toys R Us. Let's do this! That's right, toy fans, here it is. Any X-fan worth their salt has been dying for this box set to come out. Now, this isn't the first time that we received a Dark Phoenix and Cyclops 2-pack from Hasbro in their Marvel figure line. We actually received two previous attempts at these costumes from the Marvel Universe line, but this is the first time in the Marvel Legends 6-inch scale that we're seeing a 2-pack of such figures. And I've got to tell you, just looking through the window box packaging, these things look incredible. I cannot wait to get these guys out of the box. But as you see here, we do have a window box packaging that houses the figures inside, has the retro X-Men logo there at the bottom. God, I can't believe that's retro anymore. On the left-hand side, it lets us know we're getting Marvel's Dark Phoenix. On the right-hand side, it lets us know we're getting a Cyclops figure. The top of the packaging does have a window that allows the light to come through in the top if you want to display this in the packaging. The side of the packaging actually features some pretty awful Dark Phoenix art, I'm sorry to say. But then the back of the packaging does feature some pretty nice glamour shots of the figures held inside, as well as a bio for these figures and a quick call out that lets us know this particular 2-pack is based off of Uncanny X-Men issue 136, the fateful issue of X-Men when the Dark Phoenix was finally defeated. Alright toy fans, well that's the packaging. Let's get these ill-fated lovebirds out of the box and see what they're all about. Alright toy fans, here we have these figures out of the box and they look amazing. But the first thing I want to mention that's a bit of a frustration for me is evident here by how I've posed these guys. I have a lot of trouble posing that Dark Phoenix figure. I don't know if it's the way her joints sit, if they're just too loose, or if the fact that the hair maybe offsets the weight of the entire figure, but I, for the life of me, cannot get this Dark Phoenix figure to stand sitting upright, or standing upright rather. I'll go ahead and get that Firebird effect off. But look, if I just try to put her in a neutral pose, she just will not stand. I've tried reposing the head, reposing the torso, but for whatever it's worth, I just can't get her to stand. It's quite frustrating for me. Things like this are the reason I really wish Hasbro just once in a while would give us some sort of flight stand, especially when we have a flying character. But that rather glaring issue aside, let's go ahead and get things started by taking a closer look at the Dark Phoenix figure. Dark Phoenix actually comes with some pretty cool accessories, including this Firebird accessory that you already saw displayed on the figure. It attaches to the arm, just wrapping the tail feathers around. It's a nice translucent orange plastic with some red paint actually applied towards the tips of the wings and towards the tail. A really nice looking piece, and the light shines to it very nicely. Now we also get some alternate heads. You can see the head that's on this figure is actually different from what was on it a moment ago, but we do have a full-on evil Dark Phoenix head with translucent hair, nice painted eyes. I love the fiery look to the inside of those eyes. She looks really evil. Now my particular head, I don't know if it's coming through here, has some sort of manufacturer error inside the crack of the hair. I tried to rub it off with some water and a Q-tip and some of it came out, but it's still kind of in there. So you may run into that too if you choose to pick up this figure, or watch out for that I suppose if you try to order online. But otherwise it's a fantastic looking head sculpt. I'm a big fan of this. And then the other head is actually the same thing, just not full Dark Phoenix force. We have green eyes and the hair itself doesn't actually, illuminate, I suppose. There's no translucent plastic in the hair itself. It's also a softer hair. You can actually bend these pieces around pretty nicely. So while posing is limited with this head sculpt on, it's not nearly as bad as what we saw with, say, Mockingbird, whose hair just wouldn't budge at all. Now, as I said, I've already changed the head sculpt out for this Jean figure. The one currently on her body happens to be the sort of neutral or calm Jean expression, and I really like the way it looks. And all three of these head sculpts do have a wash running through the hair to bring out all of the detail. And we get some very clean paint applied for the eyebrows, the eyes, and the lips, respectively. Now, the body sculpt for Dark Phoenix is actually different from what we got with the Green Phoenix just a couple years ago. The entirety of her arms, her lower torso, and even the legs from the knees to the ankle have all been reused from the Green Phoenix figure. But Dark Phoenix actually features a different upper torso, hips, and thighs, as well as having flat-footed feet, so in theory she's supposed to be easier to stand. I appreciate the effort, but the balance definitely still seems off somewhere, despite the improvement in overall quality and look of the figure. A couple noticeable changes for the Dark Phoenix figure that are different from what we saw with the Green Phoenix are that the Phoenix emblem itself just appears to be painted straight onto the bodysuit. Some artists have actually handled it that way in the comics, but it's also been drawn with a black triangle behind it. Looks like Hasbro decided to go this way. A blackwash has been applied to the figure so the red of the costume doesn't appear as flat, and a Phoenix emblem has actually been painted on the sash for this figure as well. Truthfully though, since the sculpt for this sash already features the knot detail, I think I would have just preferred if the Phoenix emblem wasn't there at all. So, with all of these different Jean Grey heads available to us, some of you are probably wondering what else we can do with these heads, or more importantly, who else they fit on. Well, I've got some good news for those of us who picked up this somewhat disappointing Phoenix figure from the Juggernaut wave. Her neck just has a ball joint, so it's pretty easy to pop off this poor man's Anna Kendrick head, and you can replace it with this much more natural looking head sculpt. In my opinion, this figure would now be perfect if it weren't for those wedges on her feet. And in case you're curious, while you might lose the blue cowl around the face, I think this head sculpt also looks pretty nice on the 90s Jean Grey figure. Though the head does seem to rest just a little bit lower on that figure. So toy fans, it's time for an update. Back when I reviewed the Juggernaut Wave Green Phoenix figure, I had commented that despite liking the head sculpt of the Toy Biz era Phoenix, and the costume design for the 90s Jean Grey, and the improvements in the sculpt to the body for the Juggernaut Wave figure, I didn't feel like Hasbro had quite hit that definitive Jean Grey figure yet. Now that we've received this Dark Phoenix figure, has my opinion changed? Sadly no. This figure can't stand, she still has wedges, the head sculpt is terrible, and Toy Biz's effort just doesn't hold up anymore. But at least we can switch out Hasbro's Green Phoenix for a better head sculpt, and that's gonna have to get us by for now. Keep trying, Hasbro, you're so close! Now let's go ahead and talk about that Cyclops figure. In short, he's perfect. I really have no complaints about this guy whatsoever. It'd be nice if he came with some accessories that would attach to his visor to make it look like he was firing an optic blast, but really, he's a complete improvement in every way possible from the Toy Biz effort we received several years ago. He's got the same paint wash, which is very unusual for Hasbro these days, so I love that they've gone ahead and done that. It's nice that he's got this new belt piece, which Hasbro can now reuse on other X-Men characters. He's got the classic flared boots, but they aren't nearly as big as the Toy Biz effort. And I like that the yellow of the costume is more of a goldenrod versus the greenish tinted yellow that we got on the Toy Biz figure. The head sculpt even shows improvement over the 90s Cyclops we just received this year. The visor of this new Cyclops figure doesn't appear as flat, there's more of a brushed steel look to it, and it doesn't have as much kibble around the edge from the molding process as we see with the 90s Cyclops figure. Now maybe those are just my figures, but I really like the look overall of this newer Cyclops figure versus what we just got earlier this year. Also, is it me, or does the face for this Cyclops look slightly younger than the 90s version? A nice touch if Hasbro was actually paying attention to that. Otherwise, this Cyclops figure uses the exact same body mold, the Bucky Cap mold, that we've seen used with all of the previous Cyclops figures we've received. Yes, even on that Toys R Us exclusive first appearance Cyclops figure that had no business being on a body mold this big. And for those of you who'd rather dress casual, yes, the Matt Murdock Walgreens head does fit on this body as well. So if you want an unmasked Scott Summers, even though his shades may not match the era, you can go ahead and have one. And for a quick size comparison, here we have the Toys R Us 2-pack X-Men compared to a proper Wolverine from the era, and of course, the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine. You really need an update, bub. Yeah, tell me about it. Alright Toy fans, well that's my review of the Marvel Legends Toys R Us exclusive Dark Phoenix and Cyclops 2-pack released by Hasbro in 2017. Overall, as I said at the beginning, there is a lot to love about this 2-pack. On the surface, Dark Phoenix looks fantastic, and I love the extra heads and the flaming bird effect that we get to go with her. I just wish you could actually stand the darn thing. But Cyclops is plastic perfection, which makes a lot of sense given it's the 5th time we've received that figure from Hasbro. Now if you're an X-Men diehard, you want to get this box set. But considering this is another Phoenix figure and another Cyclops figure, for those of you who aren't completionists, you may want to go ahead and wait till you can find this set on sale. But be warned, this set is likely going to be very popular, so I wouldn't wait too long to make a decision about it. And hey, while you're making decisions, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below, which Marvel Legends Jean and which Marvel Legends Cyclops figure do you think has been the best so far? You guys can always keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time.